So Elon Musk Neuralink has received FDA approval for the first human trial clinical, significant achievement for brain implant startup amidst ongoing investigations into its animal experiments. In recent weeks, the FDA has not inspected Neuralink's laboratory practices, despite concerns raised by employees and experts. Victor Krautemeyer, a former FDA official, stated that the FDA should have verified the reliability of Neuralink's animal study results before approving human trials. Musk envisions the brain implants as a potential cure for various conditions and has expressed confidence in their safety, even offering to implant them in his own children. The FDA had previously highlighted safety concerns regarding the device's lithium battery, wire migration within the brain, and safe extraction without damaging brain tissue. So, can you run a poll? Run a poll saying how many of you would be open to the idea of going on first trial testing to have this chip, Neuralink chip, put into your brain? Just curious to know what percentage is going to say yes versus no.
And it's more than a chip. It's wiring in your brain. And I just thought, and I remind you, Elon Musk, awesome. Space traveling, doing all this stuff. He's bought the Twitter. It might be a wolf in sheep's clothing, bro. This thing is, notice, this all happened, the FDA approval happened on the day that they did the whole thing with DeSantis. They went live, all that stuff. Bro, they can't even do the live event, right? You want to put they want to put wires in your brain. I just don't, who's to know that at one point they have all this shit in your head that they could put shit in there to control your ass and make you do shit that they want you to do. I don't trust that. All we've read, we're Christians in the Bible. I've always read, mark of the beast, mark of the beast. It's when stuff is going to start being put inside you is when it's game over. I don't trust it. The FDA, Pat, they halted a bunch of stuff because thousands and thousands of animals, pigs, were dying. They were failed testing. The animals were tripping out. They just killed the animal.
A BBC reporter is being lectured by the leader of. I want to ask you this question. Just imagine having a chip implanted in your head. Let me say this again. Just imagine having a chip implanted in your head. Let this sit in for a second. How would you feel, or what do you think about it? Because from the look of things, that is the direction we are headed. Elon Musk has decided that the new thing he is going to do is to make a chip that will be planted into people's head. And according to what he is saying, it's going to help us a lot. It's going to make us more smarter than who we actually are. In fact, it's going to be like a robot that would download things into your brain. And you might wonder, if that were to be the case, if people could just download things into their brain, wouldn't they become like robots? And couldn't they be easily controlled? If you have a chip in your head that can make you smarter, that can let you speak a foreign language without you ever learning it, won't you become something like a programming mechanism or a programming device? This is really, really troubling, my brothers and sisters. This is really, really troubling. And somehow we are just taking this very lightly, right? We don't find anything strange that someone would decide to go after a technology just so they can implant stuff in our head. And you don't see the conservatives losing their nuts about this, because I think they were the ones that hated vaccine. They were the ones that saying that the vaccines were a means for Big Pharma to implant stuff in us. So what are they saying about this whole chip thing? I'm waiting to hear from them. What are they saying? Or maybe because this is Elon Musk, so they are like, oh, okay, Elon Musk is our guy, so we won't say anything. You know, if there's one thing I understand, right, it's about politics in the world. It's like, when others do it, it's a problem. But when my friends do it, then it's okay. There's nothing to worry about, right? Because I'm guessing that if someone, let's say a progressive, came out with this technology or came out with this idea to make a chip that it will be implanted in people's head, I'm guessing by now there would have been a civil protest in the US. Like conservatives would have rallied up in huge numbers and start protesting against it. But since it is Elon Musk who has come up with such an idea, then everyone is like, okay, where we trust Elon? Why he's the one who has gave us Tesla, the electric cars, a SpaceX, Hyperloop, and so on and so forth. So maybe it's someone we can trust. But do not get me wrong, my brothers and sisters, or do not be fooled, right? Don't trust any business person. I have said it many times on this show. Business people are not your friends. Business people are not our friends. Business people do not care about us on a macro level. They don't care about us. They care about what they are going to sell to us. They care about how much money they are going to make from us. They do not care about us. What we think or what we don't think doesn't really concern them. Doesn't concern them. So we all must follow this very closely. We all must really be watching this closely. And if you ask me, I really think that having a chip in someone's head is a very dangerous thing. Like, what if the thing is switched off? What if someone, the maker of the chip, automatically controls the chip, right? What if they switch it off? What happens to you? This is really, really dangerous. And I think that we are really getting ourselves into some very dangerous territories. We should all take a step back and reevaluate things. We should all take a step back and really think if this is the direction that we really want to be headed. And if we are headed this way, what should we protect ourselves against? Because believe me, things will broke. And when that happens, what are we going to do? We should figure all this out before proceed. We should all look into issues like this before proceeding. But you guys out there, what is your take on this Elon Musk chip that will be implanted in people's head? Do you think it's a great idea for people to have chips implanted in their head? Don't you think that it will be too devastating for us if we have those chips implanted in our head, like someone can easily control our thoughts? And what if something went wrong and let's say there's a malfunction with the chip? What happened to us who already have the chip in our head? Share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, please don't forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little bit of good tree, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.